friends, welcome in. Welcome back to the channel if you are returning. This is going to be a general reading for everyone, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. My intention for this reading is to sort of cover this coming weekend. There's a lot going on, so we're going to take a look at what we can expect with the incoming Mercury Retrograde and the full moon that's coming on Saturday. But this is also a timeless reading, so whenever you find this, there's likely a message in it for you. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and start off with some cards to see sort of what energy you're coming into the weekend with. Then we'll get some cards for the Mercury Retrograde, the full moon, and some guidance cards to see how we can work with the energies. So let's just see where we start. We're coming in with Magic Stream. Oh, that's too many. Let's try this again. Talisman. A lot of magic going on here. And Magic Prayer. Holy cow. So, a lot of emphasis on magic here. You know, with this full moon, there's definitely going to be an element of mysticism and fantasy. So it seems like you're already kind of coming in with that energy. I think it's going to be important to kind of keep a balance during this full moon of, you know, reality and fantasy. Maybe needing to open up to be a little more playful while still tending to practical things. But it looks like you're coming in with some optimism, some belief in magic, and, you know, like this card, Talisman. You know, she's standing here with this path ahead. She's got her sort of, I guess it's a talisman, but it looks like a compass in one hand. And beneath her feet is a yin and yang symbol. So, you know, keeping balance while navigating the path ahead. We have this Magic Prayer card yesterday in the daily reading, and we were talking about coming into life and surrendering. So we're seeing that energy show up again today. So maybe that's still, you know, sort of in your energy field, something that you're working with. And Magic Stream, you know, we're also talking about, you know, getting into the flow, getting into a flow state. And it looks like, you know, maybe this Magic Stream is taking you to a really beautiful, lush and magical place. So let's see. So the Mercury Retrograde starts today, September 9th, and goes through October 2nd. It starts out in Libra, and then on the 23rd, it retrogrades back into Virgo. So let's just see, you know, what we can see about how this Mercury retrograde is going to start off for us. Let's see what we can see for the beginning of Mercury retrograde. Oh, we get mindful groupthink, whale song resonating, and Dream Thief, refusal of the call. Okay. So this makes a lot of sense because this Mercury retrograde, the first half especially, is going to have us examining our relationships, you know, the give and takes in our relationships, and I think any imbalances are going to be exposed for us to look at and, reevaluate who we want to keep in our close circle and who it's time to let go of and move away from. So, this mindful group think card, I think to me points to, reviewing what we're associating ourselves with by the people that we are involved with, whether they're close people or, groups or schools of thought, needing to think about, what we're subscribing to and whether that's in alignment with where we're headed. I mean, we have two cards really here about, relationships, in that this one's also, it says resonating. So it makes me think of, what and who are we resonating with? The second half of this Mercury retrograde is going to probably focus a bit more on ourselves, our own individual lives, and examining how we can better, balance our mind, body, and spirit. So I think it's important that we, pay attention to what's going on externally and internally. This whale here in this water makes me think about our emotions, our deeper feelings, and what's resonating with us on a soul level. And really reviewing those things, because the third card we get is Dream Thief, Refusal of the Call. And this to me talks about, our bigger calling, our missions, what we're moving towards in our lives. And, maybe we are refusing the call, or have been refusing the call, because we're stuck in patterns or relationships or ways of being that do not align us with our purpose and are holding us back from, answering that call of our soul, of our higher self, of destiny. And it's holding us back from achieving our dreams, both individually, personally, and, our larger calling as a whole. So let's get some cards for what we can expect with this full moon. What can we see for this full moon on Saturday? Let's see for the full moon. We get the farther gate, bold step forward, perfect storm, the courage to step into life, and watchers, transpersonal. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is, calling for us to take a bold step forward, to walk through a portal, to whatever's next for us. Because the next card we get is perfect storm, the courage to step into life. And if we're talking about stepping forward and perfect storm, I feel like, it's kind of talking about like a divine timing, like everything is lining up for this step forward. You just have to have the courage to make the moves. And honestly, I feel like this has a lot to do with, answering this call. And let me get Watchers, transpersonal. When I see transpersonal, I think that talks about the way that, we are activated by other people, or we activate other people, the way that we come into contact with certain people that are meant to trigger us, in some way to move to the next level of our evolution. And the thing about Mercury retrograde is often that involves people from the past coming back. And so maybe there may be some triggering that comes up, if people do show up from the past. But it's here to help us move forward, to grow from, and being that it's coming here under, refusal of the call, I think it's a portal, a gateway, an opportunity to have the courage to finally step forward, to step away from, people, places, and things that are no longer in alignment with us, so that we can follow the path ahead that's for us. Knowing that we have spirit, the divine, as our co-creator. They have our back, and we can flow, down this stream and navigate, with spirit as our guide. We just have to have the courage to take that step. Honestly, I was going to get clarifiers, but I don't really feel like I need to. I feel like the messages are pretty clear. I'm going to get some messages of guidance for how we can work with these energies over this weekend and going through this retrograde and full moon period. Guidance for Mercury retrograde. Guidance. Close encounters. Another message for Mercury retrograde. The rose's kiss. I'm gonna take a quick look at these in the book and read the key concepts. So for close encounters, we get vulnerability as a strength, letting others see our wounds as well as your strengths, setting healthy boundaries. Okay. Yeah, so if we're talking about relationships and reviewing relationships and which relationships are, for our highest and best good, and which ones are going to come with us as we move forward on our path, it's important to have healthy boundaries, especially with people that may come back from the past that, were left in the past for a reason. But also, as we engage in new relationships moving forward, having the courage to be vulnerable and recognizing that it is a strength, that, through showing people ourselves, our wounds, everything, it's how we all grow and how we all can move forward as a society, as a community, and heal, is through sharing our experiences and opening ourselves up. It creates true intimacy. So let's take a look at this rose's kiss. Joy, experiencing pleasure, deep satisfaction, and enjoyment. Desires acknowledged. 5 sensory reality. So, yeah, especially the second half of Mercury retrograde, it's a good time to look at what's bringing us joy and what needs to be left behind. As we examine, how we can better connect with our own mind, body, and spirit and create balance. I think this is exactly what this is talking about, allowing ourselves to experience pleasure and joy and deep satisfaction, and recognizing the things that don't bring that to us so that we can leave those things in the past and move forward in a more joyful and abundant energy so that we can answer this call. Let's get some guidance for this full moon. What guidance can we get for this full moon? Full moon guidance. I'm going to shuffle these real quick because they're not talking. Hold, please. All right. Guidance for this full moon. There we go. Quieting the mind. More. Woo. And a tall tale. Well, quieting the mind is pretty self-explanatory, so maybe needing to spend some time in meditation, contemplation. We're talking about needing to maintain balance. So if you're, out hanging out with people and spending a lot of time with other people, close encounters, experiencing joy and excitement, balancing that with some quiet time with yourself to discharge some of that energy so that you're in your own energy and you can see clearly and make decisions from that place, because it's so easy when we are around a lot of people to absorb a lot of other people's energies, and sometimes hard to know, where we stop and other people begin. So taking some time to clear your energy, detach from other energies, and get settled. With a full moon in Pisces, also with Mercury retrograde, there's a great potential for drama and things to sort of get out of control if we're not careful. So making sure that we take the time to stay grounded and aligned. Just quickly reading the key concepts. This is meditation as a commitment, the need for silence, peace within despite chaotic outer conditions, letting go of the monkey mind and mindfulness. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we just hit on. And then we get tall tale, which I'm a little curious about. Key concepts say denial, concealing the truth so you can manipulate and control a situation. Fear-based communication, creating a narrative to hide behind, not allowing the fear of what others will think to influence your words, learning to communicate from a place of authenticity. Yeah, I think that's, one of the things that's really necessary through this period, as you're navigating relationships and reevaluating relationships. If there are ones that you want to keep in your life but need some adjustments, communicating clearly and directly about what it is that you need, and not trying to manipulate the relationships and energies by being inauthentic. And also recognizing when other people around you are being inauthentic, who are telling a tall tale, and assessing whether those people, should stay in your life, whether they can come with you where you're going. And it also touched on creating narratives to hide behind. So really being honest with ourselves about the stories we're telling ourselves. So that is what I have for you for this weekend. It's a lot. But I get the sense that some really beautiful things are gonna come from this. And with the North Node conjunct with this full moon, or I think it's a conjunction, hold on, let me see. It's sextiled with this full moon. It kind of gives this sense of, whatever happens is what's meant to be. It's fated, it's destined, it's for our highest good, and it's, for our future growth and expansion. So you can kind of relax a bit and let things unfold, but make sure that you're, staying balanced and quieting your mind and being open and vulnerable and honest with yourself and others. So that's what I've got. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I hope that you found this helpful. Please leave a comment or, like, share, and subscribe so you'll get notified when I post new content, and so I can help get these messages out to whoever else needs to hear them. Have a wonderful weekend.